There's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree.
So typically I don't train a lot of one-handed shooting. There are some real practical applications for one-handed shooting. For example, if let's say like this arm or this hand is out of commission, it got injured or whatever, I may have to go to just one-handed shooting. That's more of a forced thing. But also adverse angles. Adverse angles, in case I'm like trying to get off the X and on the move, depending on the direction that I'm moving to, I may have to shoot one-handed this way as I move to another direction. So adverse angles are also a good reason to shoot one-handed. In your vehicle, when you're in your vehicle and you have kind of a 180 / maybe 360-ish kind of environment out of your vehicle, which is kind of hard in a vehicle because you can only turn so much in your seat. But let's say you have to take shots out of your passenger window, your rear passenger window, out of the back of your truck or something like that. Those are all going to be one-handed shots because doing this, while a viable option, is not kind of really, I mean, it depends, right? It's kind of situationally driven. But if I'm taking quick shots out of a vehicle in order to exit that vehicle or drive out of the kill zone, I may take some quick one-handed shots like this, or out of that rear window, or out of, rear passenger window, or completely out of the rear window. If I'm shooting this way, it's more of a two-handed, kind of shooting. So where I'm getting at is, although we don't necessarily need to train a lot of one-handed shooting, it's good to hone in on one-handed shooting. It's good to train it and get better at one-handed shooting. In the overall kind of bottom line result is that however much better you get shooting one-handed with your strong hand, that's going to naturally translate to back to both hands, and you're just going to get better at shooting with both hands. Is there science and data there? Probably not, but common sense and logic would tell me that if I'm getting better with just one hand, I'm probably going to get overall a little bit better with both hands. So for today, we're just going to shoot this pistol plate rack from roughly 20 meters, not quite 20 meters, probably like 17 or 18, probably like 18. And we're just gonna work on the one-handed shooting. Now, some problems that I have with just one-handed shooting is the amount of grip pressure, right? And how much am I gripping that gun? Because if I'm gripping it a lot, then my red dot is shaking all over the place, or maybe my iron sights. So I need to find a balance between, gripping that gun, controlling it, but also allowing for me to best set myself up for recoil management and getting to that next target. In this case, small transitions, but also if I'm super grippy with this because I don't have this hand anymore and now I'm trying to compensate, that's going to be over gripping, and you're either going to be slow, you're either not going to hit your target, or you're going to be slow on your transitions. So let's just see how we do, because I know for me it's a personal problem that I tend to grip a little more than I want to when I'm shooting one-handed. But let's just see how we do. Okay, that was at 894, not that the time really matters. But again, for me, when I'm doing this, I'm really paying attention to my grip pressures. Where do I feel the most contact with the gun? Not necessarily contact, I should reword that. Where do I feel the most pressure, grip pressure, from the different parts of my hand? And I'll tell you, just speaking for myself, most of my grip pressure that's felt is on these bottom two fingers. So I'm kind of clamping down more with the bottom two fingers, only so that I can keep these top two fingers a little more relaxed. So again, that I'm not over gripping. We talk about over grip, we talk about how these three amigos have that muscle and tendon sympathy, and they tend to hurt this guy, your trigger finger, that's actually doing the work. And so these guys want to kind of contract more and do more work. The same thing applies to one-handed shooting, but applies a little bit more. But you need to pay attention to where are those grip pressures when I'm just shooting one-handed? Is it at the top? Is it at the bottom? Is it somewhere in the middle? Is it in the palm area? That's going to give you some good feedback as to, okay, so if my grip pressures are here when I'm shooting one-handed, how does that translate back to two hands? Where can I make up for that so I can keep this hand a little more relaxed and come in and do more work with this hand, grip pressure-wise, right? So again, there you guys go. This is something that I continuously work on. I've kind of worked on this year more one-handed shooting to see if it helps me understand my two-handed shooting and where I can kind of refine that. So hopefully that helps. Something to try out. I would love your feedback, of course, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.